Fionna and Cake shows us how escapism makes the world bearable, but it also warns of not properly working towards a solution, because in the real world, there's no happy ending coming in the form of magic. Firstly, Fionna and Cake's opening theme was scarily direct. The opening line of the song, "I'm not really feeling like myself today," contains a feeling that everyone gets occasionally, but for others is a permanent staple of existing. With this being a TV show, usually the episode is the beginning of a new day, so hearing this line immediately makes me realize that Fionna's character has essentially operated with these feelings of misplacement on a regular basis. Then this is compounded in the next line where she sings, "Every day the same, painfully mundane." This poor girl is stuck in a cycle, afraid to take a step towards change because the dream isn't real. The show kept the horrifying energy from Adventure Time, and I'm here for it. I didn't have any expectations going into it. I just wanted to know how they were going to play this Fionna and Cake thing without it being a cheap copy of Adventure Time. It is so easy for gender bends to be boring, but it was curious to see how they'd tackle this. Overall, I really enjoyed the show. Every week when a new episode would come out, I was ready to watch it, and I don't do that with everything. 90% of the shows I watch, I get procrastinated on because I'll say, I don't feel like it, it's not that important. But no, this was important. I needed to know how they'd end it, and will they bring back Ice King? Will they get the magic back? So, yeah, and I'd watch it again, obviously, like from the beginning, because it was only 10 episodes. What this adventure symbolized to me was a vacation. It gave Fionna a break to reevaluate her life and what's important. Based on the first episode and the intro lyrics, it's safe to say that Fionna has been in the trenches for a while, going from job to job, not quite fitting in anywhere, and I'm betting a little bit of resentment started to build up, and her soul cried out for a miracle. Around the same time, Simon's soul was also crying out for a miracle. He also feels that he isn't fitting into society as he has been displaced as a result of wearing the crown for a millennium, and it made him not age and pass on. The one person he feels understands him is gone, and he wants to meet her again. I thought it was sweet that both of these people, Fionna and Simon, were searching for fulfillment and were able to meet and have an adventure together. It wasn't obvious, but Cake's soul also seemed to lack some fulfillment. After jumping through Simon's head, Cake is singing about freedom and destroying things and stealing food and attacking poor little woodland creatures. She went from being trapped in Fiona's dirty apartment and being dependent on her to messing with wildlife and basically committing murder. I was like, are they calling out all the lazy pet owners? Everybody, if you have a cat, go play with it right now. Back to the matter at hand, both Fionna and Simon are looking to the past or what could have been to bring them happiness and purpose in the present. I'm super guilty of this too. It's probably the number one trait of humanity to woulda, shoulda, coulda, and you can drown in it. Simon is so stuck in this mud mindset that he places little value in his own safety. I liked the way Fiona's place in the story contrasts this hopelessness. In a lot of shows, even if the main character doesn't do anything, something will happen because there are forces out of their control. But Fionna pushing Simon and motivating him keeps the story going. Without Fiona's loud, risky, and positive personality, we would have gotten 3 episodes and Prisma would have gone to jail. Fionna and Cake are the female versions of Finn and Jake, but I do think that they have a different dynamic besides age. A way they differ is Fionna plays more of a caretaker / mom role instead of being just a best friend. The first part of the series is a lot of Fionna worrying about Cake. Cake is sick, she's acting weird, Cake ran away, Cake is missing, can everyone help me find her? A lot of people consider their pets to be like children and are constantly worrying over their well-being, so I thought it was funny when Cake starts gaining some independence like a teenager and taking risky actions. Fionna starts being a bit overprotective. At first she's okay with it because this is their dream, they get to explore, they get to be free, they don't have to work. Then things get dangerous in the vampire universe where humans are no longer the top dog. In this world, Simon never meets Marceline, so she never became a vampire hunter, therefore they're everywhere and the humans are being hunted to extinction. Then Fionna almost gets them all killed multiple times, I might add. She wants to escape as quickly as possible, get the crown, doesn't want Cake to fight. Cake wants to fight though and is enjoying herself and her new powers. I also wondered in the moment if there was a bit of jealousy with the concern in Fionna wanting to stop Cake, since the in-world Princess Bubblegum admired Cake's ability to neutralize the vampires and recruited her, whereas Fionna almost got eaten a few times and failed to stake even one. She thwarts Cake's plan to get the crown from the Vampire King, which was a decent idea, but considering the Vampire King's powers was also not a good idea to try it. This of course leads to Cake feeling like Fionna doesn't trust her judgment, and they fight. Speaking of Fionna's jealousy, I feel like it is based in feeling like her ability to adventure hasn't been living up to expectations. In the world with the evil version of Simon, she is praised and fluffed up, giving objects that give her abilities that she did not work for or earn. She truly made the fantasy a reality. Fionna gets so caught up in this that she doesn't take time to look beyond the shiny outside. She's so gung-ho and excited to fight people and destroy stuff on impulse, and then after the spell is broken, we get a scary glimpse into the consequences of magic solutions. This is the first time that we see Fionna make a mistake and actually feel bad and do some introspect. When she was bartering with the goose and got swindled, she didn't care. When she got fired for giving bad tours on the bus, she didn't care. Her can-do attitude has never backfired like this before. And then in the vampire world, she is not able to fend these guys off because obviously she is a normal person, doesn't have evil Simon's magic artifacts, so it's another reality check. But I don't think it fully registers yet, so the gang pushes forward thinking, when I'm in my world and that world is magic too, everything will still be fine. The last world they end up in is desolate. It seems like everyone except Bimo, who is not a human, is gone. Fionna and Cake are fighting because there's no food and the remote is broken. They blame each other that the plan is not working, the usual drama that comes up when people are stranded somewhere. But that's not what's important here. What's important is that while going through the junk where Ice King used to live, Fionna and Cake stumble upon a recorded video of Ice King acting crazy. Fionna is visibly disturbed by this, as this is the first time she's seen what the crown does to Simon. Again, she's faced with the consequences of using magic and is unsure whether the plan they have is the correct one. There's no way out of this world since the remote is broken, but they go to Bimo's friend Jerry, who, whoopsie, turns out to be the Lich. This version of the Lich is depressed and feels nothing inside. Poor guy. He got a little too murder happy and broke all his toys. Now he has no one to play with. Later, it's revealed that Fionna did find the crown in the heap of Ice King junk and was hiding it because she didn't want to hurt Simon after seeing that video. After she saw how different Simon was with the crown on, and not different in a good fun way, it scared her because she was thinking that if they use magic, they won't be themselves anymore. Cake and Simon give her the choice between dying or being changed by the magic, and Fionna concedes because they don't know what else to do. They continue the plan. After Fionna and Cake return to the inside of Simon's noggin, they are excited, they're ready for change and to share the change with their friends. In a bit of foreshadowing, we are shown that subconsciously Fionna and Cake are still worried about what the world will become after this crown is back on Simon. When they wake up, they're in a nightmare where all their friends' bodies are distorted and the land is destroyed. And then they wake up for real, and they tell their friends about the new world. And here it is finally asked what the consequences of the magic will be and how severely everything will be changed. We as the audience have seen what Fionna and Cake is like because we watched Adventure Time, but the characters have no solid memory of this other time or reality, and it's just a big scary unknown. Another thing I thought about was how can we be sure that Simon's mind will deteriorate in the same way that it did the first time? How is there not permanent brain damage from this? Fionna and Cake question their decision in the face of reality. They realize it's not okay to change others' lives because they aren't satisfied. They also realize that this might not necessarily be better for the world. When you work towards a solution yourself, you are in control of the outcome to a certain extent. Working together also ensures that you may find the best compromise. Of course, there will always be a number of unknown factors, but when you're involved, you can make a difference. This realization brings a sudden pride for their home out of Fionna and Cake, The world isn't perfect, but it is their home, and they don't want it to completely change because there is value even in imperfect things. Another cool thing this series did is create parallels. While Fionna and Cake are finding value in their home, Simon is learning about his own value, learning that he doesn't have to give his life for other people to have a purpose. In the Nothing Realm, where Glow Betty is doing terrifying things, what happened with the Lich will haunt me for years to come. Okay, I'm tired of talking now, so see you guys next week maybe. No promises.